Mistakes that expat moms we do when raising multilingual expat kids or third culture kids, right? The first mistake is mixing languages constantly at home, right? The problem is that many parents, yes, in my family happened, we assume that switching between languages like freely will help them, the child, the children, become fluent in all of the languages. But too much mixing confuses young kids. So it makes harder for them to distinguish then what language is what word is what language. So the best approach is to keep one parent, one language. OPOL. So assign a specific language to each parent. So, and then this helps the children create like clear compartments, making it easier for them to switch then in between both languages or three languages. The second mistake is expecting kids, like, because they're just like sponges, they will just pick it up. And the problem is that, you know, it's very tempting, believe that the children will absorb languages as they do, but it's not without effort. So just because they're living in a multilingual environment doesn't mean that they will pick up everything. So it is very important to expose them to different languages, but they need an active support, right? It's because otherwise, you know, one language will dominate the other. So be intentional, like dedicate activities to each language. For instance, in our case, we were doing bedtime stories in Catalan, but then we were doing like little games in Japanese, like Rankempoi, these kind of things. Just for you to give an example. And the third mistake is just stopping the language from home too soon. Because when children start school, and that happens to us in English, in a new country, many parents then, and I did that, we focus on that language in English, assuming that it's more important for them to catch up with that language. But look, our own language is very important. And I knew that, so I kept it at home. You know, sometimes I was tempted to go into English, but then, you know, I knew that I want them to be able to communicate with my parents, you know, their grandparents, their cousins, my sibling, my sister. Although they speak English, I still wanted them to feel the connection, because language is culture and connection, with my family.